And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that lovely Brutal OSC as we returned with our winners match, the third match of the night. We just, of course, covered GuMiho taking down Rogue. Before that, we had Reynor taking down Oliveira, and now we have our winners match. We have our decided match to determine which of these two players makes it into the playoffs. Let's go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of King's Cove, we have the Italian Zerg player, the blue Zerg for Basilisk. It is Reynor. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the red Terran. It is GuMiho. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck in the chat, as predictions are open for the next minute or so. Best of luck as we do settle in to King's Cove, one of the larger maps in the map pool. Now, what I will say, there is a big difference between King's Cove, Abyssal Reef, and Neon Violet Square, and that is that here on King's Cove, your 3-base setup is very defendable, but the 4th base is more exposed. Whether it's this center 4th base or the linear 4th base instead, it is a lot more vulnerable compared to the 4th base on Abyssal or on Neon Violet Square. So despite the fact that these 3 maps are large, this one is the one where you can abuse the 4th base a little more easier than on the others. Oh boy, so I'm sure that's going to be a factor here coming into this matchup. For now, standard opener, hatch gas pool out of Reynor. Oh, my apologies here. That is going to be a gases opener. So my apologies, this is going to be a gases opener here by Reynor. Is going for his 3rd base before any gases. If you remember, we spoke about this opener on Abyssal Reef in the series between Rogue and GuMiho. Rogue versus GuMiho game 1, we spoke about how on these large maps like Abyssal, Neon Violet Square, and King's Cove, it is more viable to open gasless. And that's what we're seeing here. We saw it on Abyssal from Rogue, and we're seeing it here on King's Cove from Reynor. Again, it is very much so map dependent. The reason for this, I didn't really get into it in the last game. I just alluded to how large the map is, which is a factor that is true, but more importantly, it's not just how large it is, it's also how defendable it is on 3 bases. What I'm referring to here is a very narrow ramp coming in towards the natural. It takes 2 queens. It takes 2 queens or some well-placed buildings to fully wall this off, and this means that Hellion Reaper can't really punish and can't really apply pressure here to this natural base early on. I'm referring to once we build up a queen count, once Hellions come into the mix. So because of that, because this location is so easily fortifiable, that means that you can focus your main defense or your main queen movement here at the 3rd base. It means that you can get away with skipping link speed and skipping link production. So you're cutting corners and you're defending with purely queens and slow links, and again, you can pull that off here on King's Cove, and again on some of the other maps in the map pool as well. There are maps where it is not really viable to do this on. Maps like Whispers of Gold, for example. Or Amygdala, I would say. As Reaper does dip in. And Reynor so far is keeping up. Of course, GuMiho, he does get eyes on the 3rd base timing, so he's fully aware that this is a gasless opener. He knows. And back at home, 1-1-1. Ooh, aggression out of GuMiho. GuMiho diving into the 1-1-1. I do like this. So typically, this is how Clem responds as well. As we do have the attempted wall-off here at the ramp. Roachhorn has in place. Again, all it takes is 1 queen at this point to wall this up. With the... well, I say that. Just full wall-off. Evo Chamber's on the way. And Reynor, he fully walls this up. So again, now only 1 way into the bases. This is the 1 entry point here the Reynor has to focus on. You know, GuMiho does get into the mineral line. We'll take down the Spore. That's a kill. Nicely done. Kill, not a cancel on the Spore. GuMiho, he dips out. Now again, because this Certzy is so delayed for GuMiho, he's going to be fixating and prioritizing Hellion and Banshee aggression early on. I was about to say how Clem is so good at this. Clem is so good at identifying greed and punishing greed. We've seen Clem take down Serral time and time again whenever Serral does cut corners like this with Hellion dives and Hellion aggression. We'll see if GuMiho can do the same. See if GuMiho can pull this off. Oh, shout out Keybrits in the chat. Ah, gracias, papi, gracias. Much love, much love. This Reynor, he is attempting to fortify himself. Again, opening up Roach. Banshee does hit the natural. Spore is not ready, and drones are going down. It's going to be 4 drone kills. Reynor, he never got into the main. He didn't see that it was an earlier starport. Earlier Banshee had a GuMiho. 4 drones so far. We're not quite getting the 5th. Almost. So Reynor is holding. So far, Reynor is holding on. GuMiho is denied. But he does at least keep the Banshees alive. He does keep them alive. Behind this, GuMiho getting into his own 5-rack setup.
Game paused.
As it looks like we do have a little bit of latency, I'm assuming, going on. Hopefully everything's okay. Oh, bit of a bug, actually. Oh, there. These the queens, they're stuck in between the gases. Oh no. That's a little bit unfortunate. Reynor's referring to these 2 queens. These 2 queens. I think technically you might be able to shift them if you throw down some creep tumors. I think you can throw down some tumors and force them to move, maybe.
Game resumed.
Oh, okay. We're good. Jesus. Ah, no. Okay, the queens, they do break out. It's fine. It's all good. From here we can settle in. Queens keeping up with the Banshees. Speaking of, 3 drone kills already, not bad out of GuMiho. Yes, remember to lube up your queens. Oh no. Marinate them. As GuMiho, he does dip out, getting a couple of transferring workers. 1 Banshee does not go down. Whew. Barely pulls away in time. GuMiho gets out with 6 drone kills, not bad. Gets 6 kills, does survive with the Banshees. And now he's getting ready for his follow-up push. There's going to be a timing with Stim, combat shields 1-1, soon to finish. GuMiho is moving out. And Reynor is still attempting to re-establish his 4th. To get up and running, saturate. Building up his roaches, we have +1 range and infestation on the way. I would imagine this is going to be for Hive Tech, for Hydra Lurker Tech as well. So Reynor rushing towards Lurkers. At least it seems to be the case. Meanwhile, GuMiho, he does outposition Reynor. He's not here. Queen's going down. Drones as well. Roaches have to go the long way around the wall working against Reynor. He walls himself off. With that 5 drones and the Queen. Very nicely done. If only we had depots. But again, this SimCity has just made it awkward for Reynor once again trying to rotate around. Evo Chamber under fire. GuMiho is helping him. Takes, oh god, the transfuse. Evo Chamber barely saved. And Reynor's gonna knock down the rocks. Go now, knock down those rocks. Allow himself to rotate. Thankfully, does save the Evo Chamber. GuMiho reinforcing. And it looks like the rocks are going to be knocked down just in time. Just in time for the push. We spoke about Lurker Tech. There it is. Lurker Den's on the way. Again, the big sign there was the fact that we were focusing and fixating on the range upgrades. And of course, lack of Bailey Nest. Banshees, they do come in from behind. Main army's pushing in. Files do connect. They take down the tank. Bungles as well. And GuMiho is running out of fire, running out of support. Tanks forced to pick up, and Reynor holds. He does hold on. That was a clutch fight. But last Reynor, he had infestors in time. And with that, GuMiho, he has to back off. Down in supply, just now getting his 4th base. And we spoke about the 4th previously, how exposed this 4th base is. And can GuMiho hold on to it? As Reynor has gained map control. is soon to max out, bearing in mind that Reynor has inflated army supply. It's mainly Roach Ravager, but the lurker count is slowly building up. 3 lurkers for the time being. GuMiho likewise attempting to secure himself. Now, here in this matchup, ideally you would want to see depots, turrets, CCs. Because of how exposed and because of how open this central location is, you do need your own SimCity here to make up for that. For the time being, GuMiho is lacking that SimCity. And hopefully he starts working on it soon. There we go. Speaking of, a second command center on the way. Third command center, let's go. Just throwing down a wall of CCs. I mean, that works. A wall of turrets as well. And again, GuMiho is attempting to turtle up. Again, it takes more setup here than it does on other maps. Does require a bigger investment. So far, so good. Reynor is maxed. Unfortunately, even though Reynor's maxed out, the soup does lie. He has an inefficient army. He has to get rid of these roaches. Oh, the miles! Ooh. Miles they connect. Minimax they barely escape. But ideally, Reynor wants to trade. He wants to trade out these roaches slowly over time. Doesn't want to throw them away, but does want to get rid of them. Free up supply for Lings. More Hydras, more Lurkers. Reynor, he will find a free tank. Meanwhile, GuMiho taking to the skies. That is a fusion core on the way. It's going to be the fusion core. That'll be for Liberator range, for mass lib. He's getting there. Interesting that GuMiho did invest into Vikings early on already as well. I mean, Vikings, they do help against Vipers, assuming that Reynor makes any Vipers. Speaking of, they can also shut down the Overseers as well. As Reynor commits in. Double Spire on the way. We're gonna be here for a while. Let's go. As GuMiho, he takes a 5th base, now getting a 6th as well, throwing down more CCs. And I assumed it was going to be for Liberator range, but no, my apologies. Yamato is on the way. GuMiho is getting ready for battlecruisers, not for Liberators. Okay. Well, let's go. Command Center gets denied. Get 7 SCVs. Reynor still stuck with the subpar army, but he's building up towards Corruptors and Broodlords with that double spire. They poke in. Ooh. They get 12 SCVs. And again, as we're bleeding out roaches, Reynor here replaces them with Lings. 38 Lings now on the way. Much more efficient setup. Double Ghost Academy on the way. Let's go. Getting into nukes. Making 3 BCs at a time. The battle cruisers are amassing. How many lurkers does Reynor actually have? Only 4. Only 4 lurkers. Reynor just still focusing on upgrades. Getting a +2. 1/1 air upgrades as well. Or should say, do rotate over towards the south. Main army pushing in. GuMiho out of position. Yeah, tanks are falling. He gets one, he gets two. 3 tanks going down. The bio army completely out of position here. And Reynor trades well. Takes down 3 tanks. Oh. That is 126 lings on the way. that's a lot of lings. This Reynor has remaxed. Now, the scariest thing at the moment here is that Reynor has very limited anti-air. And this entire time, we have 3 more starports on the way, and GuMiho is massing up more battlecruisers. And Reynor is not fully aware of this. As there's 3 BCs currently. Soon to be 4. Sorry, soon to be 5. As GuMiho, he does miss the expansion. Going for the northern base instead. Reynor collapsing on the CC. And there are enough banelings. They take down the bio, they take down the planetary. Planetary goes down. BCs, they do kill a base, but there was barely any mining going on. Going for another. Queens are in position. Flush transfuse. Up. 1 BC goes down. Massive pickup. Going for the Yamatos. Lurkers are ready. The drop shouldn't really get too much done. And Reynor holds. Reynor, he does hold. More battlecruisers have arrived, but Corruptor reinforcements are here. This is decent damage here by GuMiho, but he needs more time to rebuild. As he's milling his heart out. Reynor has a bank, GuMiho does not. And all Reynor has to do is just keep trading. Just keep trading here with GuMiho. Bit of a gamble nuke, hoping to catch like any production. Gets like 2 lings. It's fine. GuMiho building up more nukes. More BCs on the way as well. GuMiho is remaxed. Does have somewhat of a mech army. I am concerned of the lack of ghosts though. Only 1. So limited snipes, limited EMPs. Reynor going to be collapsing in the army. Does land the fungal. Fungal goes off. Gets a tank, takes down the CC. Or do we have a neural? We do. And neural is researched. He's ready for the battlecruisers, ready to neural every single BC, if need be. 12 more corruptors in production. This is where GuMiho ideally would have a ghost transition or ghost support. As Reynor, he's just hyperfixated on anti-air. I mean, for good reason. As the corruptor count is building up. Base is exposed. DC's they bring it down. Reynor, he commits. Once again, going for the tanks. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets 3. 3 tanks go down. Command center as well. He's trying to hold on. Does spread this location, taking another base here on the left hand side, getting up and running. And the win condition for GuMiho is just to wait for Reynor to push into him and take a better fight and then counterattack. And we spoke earlier, I was really concerned about the lack of ghosts with GuMiho's main army, but speaking of, I mean, the ghost count from 1 up to 9. 9 ghosts here for GuMiho. Going for another nuke. Oh, he sees. Oh. Oh my god. Very close. Ghost does fall. Reynor is going to be committing in. Takes down a ghost. Last force lifts you out of the Vikings. Smiles, they do connect, but GuMiho, he does pull back in time. Does pull back, trading with the ghosts. Should say picking up some key units with the ghosts. Nice snipes. GuMiho, he does hold. At the same time, BCs, they go for another run by. The Infestor is though in position. Do we go for the Yamato? Up! Oh my god, Yamato's they pop off. And they shut down every single Infestor. Massive pickoffs. Oh no! A bit of a rough teleport there. As Reynor, he commits in. A couple of BCs get left behind. That was what, 3 battlecruisers going down, but they took down every single Infestor. Is pushing in, catching up more tanks. They are exposed. Elite reinforcements are becoming too much. Tank count almost resets. The BC count is getting quite high. But where's the support? Where are the ghosts? Not enough. Oh, nice snipe save. Snipe save zone away. What was once a terrifying BC army down to 3. 3 battlecruisers left. And again, GuMiho just can't afford these trades. Cannot afford these losses. Oh. That's Reynor, he's diving in. I mean, he's got a massive bank to work with. He can just commit and throw away his army. Can do so, if he so chooses. Ling Bane will run in. Crashes into the bio. Throwing away some Hydras. Reynor can afford it. If given time, GuMiho can recover. Getting another base. He's taking bottom left. Reynor committing in once again. Pulling away this time. Does have to pull away. Reynor, he commits. The army's out of position. I mean, again, GuMiho, he's just having a hard time maxing out. Is caught out. The base will fall. 21 SCV kills. And again, this is all that Reynor has to do. Just make sure he takes down the fringe bases. Make sure that GuMiho does not build up a bank. Medevac count gets reset. And he's just being chased down. And GuMiho is broke. He's running out of minerals. He wants the CC. Reynor, he should barely get it. There's the final lunge. Command center goes down. GuMiho is down to 5 aces, or down to what, a 1 base economy at this point. Barely any mining. Barely any saturation. trying to commit in. The Reynor collapses in from behind, gets on top of the army. It's just the one tank. And Banelings, they crash on in. A nuke did pop off, but didn't really get much done. As GuMiho does go for a desperation counterattack, the final BC goes down. Oh my god, the Lunkers are here. Finally, they come into play. They shut down the drop. Lings, they deny the center expansion, and GuMiho is all in. At this point, he's completely all in. There's no mining, there's no economy. The bases, they're barren. And Reynor just collapses in. GG gets called, and Reynor, he will take game number 1. GG. Reynor, he does take a lead in the series. And again, did come down to GuMiho just trying to establish himself, trying to go into that BC transition, which had potential, don't get me wrong, but alas, wasn't really getting any value. He was taking down bases, yes, but no drones. The workout was very safe and sound for Reynor. For the most part, his economy was almost untouched. And with that, GG. Reynor, he was able to max out, build up an insane bank. He was able to afford these trades, afford these losses, and GuMiho could not. Towards the end, GuMiho, he did have all these bases up and running, but no bases. So, sorry, no economy, no workers, I should say, no saturation. And with that, GuMiho just ran out of steam towards the end, and now we're getting into game number 2. I'm curious what map we're going to be loading into as well. I'm unfamiliar with the veto process. I'm not too certain what the map order is going to be. But I'm ready. I'm excited. Let's go. As Reynor is 1 game away from advancing on into the next round, into the playoffs. 1 more win is all that Reynor needs. GuMiho has to fight back here and now to force the ace match. And we're going to be loading into a much smaller map. We're going to be loading into ley lines. Let's go. So we should be seeing a very different dynamic. As a reminder, coming into King's Cove, because of how defendable the how large the map is and how defendable it is, getting up to your 3 bases. What I will say, your 4th and 5th, a lot more exposed, but hey, GuMiho did a great job of just walling up and walling off and securing his 5A setup. Here on ley lines, it's going to be a little bit different. The rush distance by ground is shorter, so aggression is favored on ley lines, more so than on some of these other larger maps. So we could see either player be more active and be more aggressive. Let's go. I don't expect Reynor to go gasless this time. As a reminder, did open gasless in the last game. On King's Cove. But now we're getting into game number 2. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines, we have the Italian Zerg player. The blue Zerg representing Basilisk, leading the series 1-0. It is Reynor. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the red Terran, down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is GuMiho. Can you try to commentate like it's a golf match with the suppressed voice so as to not disturb the concentration of the players? Ah. No. Ay, este Saber, John. Shaking my head. As GuMiho is going to be opening up 2 Rax Reaper. Okay, let's go. We saw this against Rogue. We're seeing this here against Reynor. So 2nd Rax should soon be thrown down. With this, the goal is to delay the 3rd. Delay the 3rd base is to contain the Zerg player on 2 bases for as long as possible and to maintain map control and to lead into a 2-on-1 follow-up. I mean, there are variations here where you throw down a 3rd Rax in the main and you go mass 3 Rax Reaper. There is a variation where you throw down a 3rd and 4th Rax into a 4 Rax follow-up with, of course, Stim. So we'll see where GuMiho takes us. As interesting, Reynor, he goes for a gas pool before hatchery. Okay. You have my attention. It's the Reynor. So there's a couple things going on here. 1, fast gas. Really early gas timing here at a Reynor. What does this mean? This means fast link speed. This potentially means Bane Bust as well. And this is going to be ideal. We have seen time and time again, especially over the past couple of years, especially when this was the meta to go 2x Reaper, is that you can punish this with early link speed and with early banelings as well. So link speed is already on the way. Reynor, he keeps 2 workers in gas. This feels like further tech. This feels like either a baneling nest or a roach warren. I'm leaning towards a nest. Reapers are moving out, and the goal here for Reynor is to catch out the Reapers with his link speed timing. As a reminder, Reynor, he delayed the expansion in favor of this earlier gas and earlier tech. He pulls back in. Does pull back in. Show us what you got. Reaper will get into the mineral line. Does get eyes on the gas saturation. Big scout there for GuMiho. Okay, now Reynor pulls out. Okay, pulls out of gas. And with that, looks like Reynor, he's not going to invest. Oh, no, pulls back in. Never mind. Pulls back into gas. Is going to be committed. Lings are amassing, and I'm waiting for that baneling nest. Where is it? We have the money for it. Reynor is bouncing up. There it is. Baneling nest is on the way, and it's going to be a Bane Bust. Again, as you mentioned early on, because of the early gas timing, I mean, it screamed Bane Bust. GuMiho back at home, being greedy. Third CC's on the way. Third racks as well. Oh, that is brutal. What does this mean? This means no Hellions. There will not be any Hellions to defend, and Hellions, they can wreak havoc against Ling Bane, against these kind of Bane busts. They do so well when it comes to their splash damage, but that is not going to be a factor. GuMiho is in trouble. He is in trouble. There's no factory, there's no bunker. It's only purely Reaper Marine to defend without bunkers. And GuMiho, he hasn't seen this. I mean, he should have seen the gas mining, and he should have noticed the later expansion. But alas, didn't quite piece it all together. And here comes the bust. One way or another, the game is about to end. Either Reynor breaks GuMiho, or he breaks GuMiho. It's a like, I don't know. I don't see a world where GuMiho can survive this. We'll see if he can. I'll be very impressed. As GuMiho did not see this coming. He is not ready. The pants, they're down. The banelings get spotted. Now he knows. Now he knows. You can see GuMiho, he just abandons the natural. The wall is broken. Nice target firing here on 2 of those banelings. Again, on the 3rd baneling as well. Oh, on the 4th baneling. The target firing. Impressive. But the wall is broken. The wall is still broken. Lings, they flood in. They flood into the main. They collapse on the Marines. More Lings on the way. But boys are being pulled, and GuMiho, he's barely holding on. Again, just a very good response here. Very good reaction by GuMiho as soon as he saw the banelings. And GuMiho, he holds. GG gets called. Very impressive. GuMiho, he survives. And we're going to the ace match. Whew, GG. Reynor, unfortunately, he did rally his banelings within range or within vision of the Raxes. If you remember, Reynor, he rallied his army in and he delayed his push, which means that GuMiho, he had some precious seconds to respond and to react. It was like, I want to say 10 seconds. It was like 10 seconds, or maybe even less than that, maybe like 8 seconds or something. But that was enough time, as that did give GuMiho enough time to, of course, pull away, to evacuate the low ground, to wall up in the main, and of course to target fire all those banelings. Very impressive. With that, we're going to game 3. With that, we're going all the way to the ace match. And this could go either way. This could go either way here. And our players are asking for a moment. Understandable. Is understandable. Players are asking for a moment to breathe. For a moment to calm down. And we are more than happy to give them that. Oh, yo, do we have cams going on? Yeah, we're good. GuMiho is in his cabin once again. He's in his cabin. Beautiful. Okay, so we have the ace match. Game 3 is going to be on Whispers of Gold. A very small map. A very small map. Short rush distance by ground. This map is known for aggression. I do actually favor GuMiho on this map, but we'll see. We'll see what Reynor has in store for us. on a map as small as Whispers of Gold? We shall see. I wouldn't be surprised if GuMiho once again opens 2-Rax Reaper. Does Reynor open early gas? Does he open gas first again? That is the question. Here we go. As we here to determine the first player to make it into the playoffs. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the Italian Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Basilisk. Being forced into the ace match, it is Reynor. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, tying up the series 1-1 and forcing the ace match. It is GuMiho. Here we go. As GuMiho sets up on the high ground. Okay, we have the Deep on the high ground. That means a standard opener out of GuMiho, not 2-Rax Reaper. From the side of Reynor, likewise, hatch first. No early gas. So we had some more aggressive and chaotic openers last game. This time, hatch gas pool, standard opener out of Reynor. Likewise, Rax expand out of GuMiho. Now, GuMiho, he has shown us that he's willing to cut corners and skip SCV scouts and skip Reaper scouts and go reactor first. I don't see that happening here on Whispers of Gold. That would be very risky to skip the Reaper scout. But, I mean, GuMiho, he's not necessarily the most standard of players, so we'll keep an eye on him. Keep an eye on GuMiho, as he could be crazy. Could be wild. But now there it is going to be the Reaper first into the expansion on the low ground. Likewise, hatch gas pool out of Reynor, joining up. Just going to be joining from here and settling into a much more standard opener. Now this can still lead into aggression. This can lead into GuMiho going for a 1-1-1, a delayed third TC. GuMiho has already shown us that in today's broadcast, so we could see that again. Likewise, Reynor, he could open up with an earlier Roach Warren and earlier gases. We'll see. As Reaper pokes in. Just poking towards the natural. Oh, threatening the drones. And we'll barely knock out one of them. Quick sport trick here out of Reynor. Saves the worker, masses up more lings, and forces GuMiho back. Here he is zoned away. Meanwhile, we have our pull-off tech of choice. As GuMiho is going for a third CC before starport. So economic opener here out of GuMiho is going to be more economic. Which means we should be able to settle in. And it's going to be on Reynor here to, I mean, we'll see if he does deviate. Trying the third, expanding towards his opponent. As a result, this is a more exposed location, a more exposed base. GuMiho is aware. Behind this, GuMiho building up his Hellions, going into Banshee production, assuming we go for an add-on swap. Speaking of, there it is, so Banshees are on the way. Overlord gets spotted. The first Banshee is in production. Here we go. Meanwhile, we spoke about early Roaches previously, and there it is. Roach Warren is on the way for Reynor. It makes sense, especially on a smaller map like Whispers of Gold. Roach openers are just very safe. They're very safe. They keep you safe against early move-outs. So GuMiho should not be able to break Reynor anytime soon. Should not break him. Pokes in. Zone back. Lair is on the way. Again, 4-minute 30 lair timing, so standard lair timing here by Reynor. Into Roach Speed, into Evo Chambers, into 1-1 upgrades. Now, similarly to King's Cove, we should reiterate here on Whispers of Gold, opening a Roach doesn't mean a Roach all-in or doesn't mean purely Roaches. This can just be a stepping stone into Lingbane Roach Ravager or into Hydra Roach, into Roach Hydra, into Lurker. So there are a couple of different tech paths here available to Reynor. We'll see what he goes for. As the Banshee does poke in. Ooh, once again, okay, one Banshee into a Raven. Not something you see too often, but I guess this is the second time we've seen this out of GuMiho today. Banshee into Raven. I mean, last time we saw this led into Mech, but this time we have extra Raxes into Bioplay from GuMiho. It's getting into Bio. GuMiho rotating over towards right hand side. Reynor, he is cutting worker production. Uh-oh. We spoke earlier that this doesn't have to be for a Roach all-in, but it is. So Reynor, he cuts workers at sub 3 base saturation, 58 workers, and with no more. No more drones from there. We have drop alerts on the way. That should be for the Queens. And Reynor, he's going all in completely. No Evo Chamber, no upgrades, no nothing. No longevity here for Reynor. The fourth base is just for Larva. He's just amassing up Lings, Queens, and Roaches. Back at home, GuMiho doesn't know. He doesn't know what's going on. He is not aware. Just now running into the main army. Just now does spot the Roaches. As Reynor is committing. GuMiho, he has Hellions to defend. They're not going to do too much. Lings, they bust into the mineral line. And they head towards the natural so far. GuMiho, he is holding on. The boys are being pulled. Queens, they drop in. And the mineral line, it's going to go down. Every single SCV is going to fall. Lings, they bust into the main. A bit of an overextension. Jeez, that's 19 SCV kills. Tank goes down. And Reynor, he is doing it. He's pushing in. He's pushing through. Denies the third. Trying to break into the natural. Tanks on the high ground. GuMiho, he's holding. He is holding onto his natural. Reynor behind this, now droning up. Evo Chambers on the way. Reynor, double Evo Chamber on the way. Reynor, he's trying to take up and trying to transition. Trying to get out of Roach Ravager. I mean, he did a lot of damage. And he finds himself ahead. That was enough to give Reynor a very nice lead. Meanwhile, GuMiho working on 2-2. Does have the better upgrades. Doesn't really have the army in his favor. Not trading well against the Roaches. GuMiho does bully those Roaches. Forcing them back. Reynor attempts to run by. GuMiho's in position. So far, so good. GuMiho, he's holding on. GuMiho is just trying to recover. Re-establishing his third base. Muling the hell out of it as well. Trying to bounce back in. He needs better fights. He needs better fights, better trades. Ideally catching out more of these roaches, more of this Roach force. GuMiho is being active. Shouldn't really lose anything here. Pulls away. time. Hive is now on the way for Reynor. That should be for the Lurker upgrades and for Viper tech. Before the Hive is done, GuMiho is moving out. It's going to be pushing. So far, trading well. There are 0 Lurkers here for Reynor. It's just purely Ling Bane Roach Ravager. Bailing speed is not done. And this move up from GuMiho, he's pretty all in. Like, GuMiho is pretty committed here on 3 bases. This needs to get damage done. How about when you see a Ling drop into the main? Likewise, Ling Roach counterattack at the 3rd, forcing GuMiho back home. Force him back. Once again, going for another counterattack. Bailey's rolling in. Massive connect. Oh my god. Massive connections. And this is just becoming too much. GuMiho, he lost his tank. Up. Does reinforce though. 2 more tanks have arrived. Can he still pull this off? Another tank goes down. Forcing back Reynor. 14 Bailey's just now finishing up just in time with this push. There it is, another pickup. So far, Reynor, he is keeping up. Drop into the main, does unload, going for the spawning pool. I don't quite get it. The bases do survive, the mineral lines as well. Reynor, he is going to be the first to max out. Still stuck with too much Roach Ravagers, what I will say, but I mean, despite that, Reynor still has a terrifying army. He'll soon move out. GuMiho ideally wants to fight on his terms. It's easier said than done. Reynor keeps going for attempted run-bys. Hoping to cause frustrations out of GuMiho. To make mistakes. This drop is dealt with. GuMiho pushing in. Reynor, he has time to respond. Reynor does come in from behind. As Reynor, he does defend back at home. Shuts down both libs. GuMiho has maxed out. That's a lot of Marauders. That is 23 Marauders here for GuMiho. Again, very nice spread, very nice split. GuMiho pushing in. And again, all or nothing for GuMiho. Nice mine shot. Mine shot goes off on the Bailings. Respect here by GuMiho. Not just gaining more ground. Reynor forced to engage. Bailing connections, they are lackluster. Nice power bomb here on the medics. Medevacs. A lot of medevacs go down. GuMiho still pushing in. Again, if he backs off, I mean, Reynor's just going to run away with this. Pressure is on GuMiho. But still just barely has an army. Reynor's just been chipping away. GuMiho is getting some of the expansion. Powerbomb's going to be popping up. Reinforcements, they have arrived. And GG gets called as GuMiho, he runs out of steam. He was completely all in, but last did not quite break through. And Reynor will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the playoffs. GG. GG, well played, Reynor. He is the first player to make it into those playoffs. Again, GuMiho was just forced all-in. He was just forced into an all-in. He was denied the bases. Of course, he was his economy was crippled due to the massive counterattack and the massive aggression. And with that, GG, well played. We are now getting ready for our next series. We're now getting ready for the losers match. Congratulations to Reynor. Again, Reynor, he's the first player to make it into the playoffs. And GuMiho, he's knocked down to the decider match. GuMiho is going to be waiting for the winner of our next series, waiting for the winner of Oliveira versus Rogue. Let's go. We're going to be going in a short break. We're going to be going in a short break. When we come back, we'll have that matchup. What exactly is it going to be? Hard to say. Again, Oliveira has been off racing quite a bit. He's been doing a lot of off racing, so we could be seeing Oliveira's Protoss. We could be seeing Oliveira's Zerg. I would imagine Protoss, but we'll see. We shall see. For now, we're going to be going on a short break. We'll see you guys after it with our next match. See you soon.